What do you feel best about as it relates to Mike Vrabel? Both, you can jump off from yesterday and things that he said, or just your feelings at this hour. The floor is yours, Greg.
Thanks. I guess, I came away just thinking like, all right, there's an adult back in charge of the Patriots football operation. And that's nothing against Mayo because he just wasn't ready for the job. Vrabel was very clear in his vision about what he wants for the football team. I thought the taking out of removing entitlement from the Patriots was great. I think and very swiftly. I thought it swept through the organization, specifically the coaches, down to the players, and I think that was a huge problem last year.
So can you, hone that down a little bit? Who do you think he's referring to? I mean, the whole organization, but if you had to put like leaders in the clubhouse of entitlement, where are we?
Well, I think in speaking to people, I think entitlement sort of permeated that building because there was no central leader. There was no leadership. Mayo tried to do things a different way, tried to collaborate, things like that. It doesn't work in football. And I think that, it drove me crazy. Some of the, what I've heard about like the coaching staff since, Mayo was fired, and in the wake of it, like they were all complaining about the roster and this and that. And about how, Bert's going on radio talking about how, like, I know for a fact they thought they were going to have 3 years. I mean, that just reeks of entitlement to me. What do you mean 3 years? What the hell are we talking about? Who thinks about that, especially in the National Football League? Like, nothing's given to you. You're not entitled to 3 years. You're entitled to your job that day. Do it or don't.
Mayo and Wolf certainly talk like they had a second year coming. Wolf, too. I mean, the last comment that we got in that Fox story.
Yeah.
He says, about it's expecting more internal development, which is a good lesson going forward, or something along those lines. Like he was talking like, I'll know better next time, like he's getting a next time. Go ahead.
Yeah, and, I thought that went down. I think the players didn't really know what direction to go, and they're all, spouting off and saying what they said, all season long about how they wanted the ball, and they think this should be done, and the ball should have been thrown like this and all that stuff. It's like, the whole program like went into a ditch last season, and now Vrabel's here to put things back in place, and it's going to start with him.
Okay, so what are the best things about Mike Vrabel?
Can I give you another one?
Yeah, please.
Sorry, I had my hand raised.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Sorry.
I think, look, who does the head coach usually try to set the standard for? And I would say the players. What's his name? Jalen Polk. Who the hell do you think you are? Seriously, who do you think that? I mean, that's what I would say, that it was directed toward the players. You guys haven't won jack. Shut your pie holes. Get your ass in camp. Catch the ball right. And I think largely the receivers. Anyway, I'm just giving you my 2 cents, Greg. Go ahead.
Okay. What are the best things about Mike Vrabel?
The best things about Mike Vrabel? I mean, he knows exactly what he wants out of his football team. He knows how he wants to play. I like the stuff about how, like, we need to what was he said about bad football? Like,
can you take advantage of bad football?
Take advantage of bad football. That's where they're going to start. And, I argued with Holly last night on TV because Holly says, like, last year's team wasn't capable of it. No, any team is capable of that if you coach it the right way. And if you're getting good coaching and there's discipline and there's accountability and there's all those things, like, you could be the least talented team. You could still play error-free or mistake-free and, give teams a run, and this team didn't do it often enough. And so, I just think that Mike knows, as opposed to Mayo a year ago, where we got no football, no direction, we got no indication on what he believes in as far as a football team. We got that in spades with Vrabel, and I thought that. I think that we even heard some of the players, I think somebody put in the email chain, about like things that like Joe Cardona said about, last year and now the difference in accountability and all that stuff. And so, I thought that all that stuff, was great. I still have a lot of questions about Vrabel.
Okay, well, I'll get to those. Here's what Mazz put it in there, the Joe Cardona quote. I'm excited to come in the building and get this back to what fans deserve from where I was 2 weeks ago to where I am now. It's a pleasure to come to work, and it's exciting to have this opportunity ahead. Like, I would just say it's a pleasure to come to work. It's his first day. It's a little much. Anyway,
Well, so to me, it tells you where they were
yeah, I guess.
with Mayo. That's how I looked at it.
Ultimately, football is a sport where you must be accountable to your teammates. You have to maintain a level of accountability, not only to your team, but to your coaches and fan base. So from my perspective, when I think about the game itself, accountability is one of those non-negotiables. So, Mazz, that stood out to you?
It did. Again, you got a player say it's Cardona. He's a long snapper, for crying out loud. At least he's been here for a little while. But when he says to your coaches and the fan base, Jelani Tavai, like I think to me, the reason it stuck out, they just fired the guy. It was a week ago. He's already saying he feels better about it for given where they were. What does that tell you?
Okay, Greg, what are some of your concerns?
I'm concerned about Vrabel and his staffing. I know that you guys, played a lot of audio yesterday, and I was sort of cursing you because that's what I was working on, for later in the week. That I don't think Vrabel did a very good job of putting together a staff in Tennessee. I think, the LaFleur thing did not go well. To the point where Dion Lewis was like their top back while Derrick Henry's, sitting on the bench for half the season. Arthur Smith, he sort of fell into. The offensive line coaching was sort of a train wreck for a lot of the time that Vrabel was there. And I do think I think he went down the road of thinking that he could solve everything, sort of like Bill. And I hope that he learned some things in his time off and reflected and focuses on, I need to put together the best staff possible so that I can reach my vision. Like, Vrabel's not just going to be able to do it on his own. Like, I know he's a strong personality and he thinks highly of himself, but everybody has their limits, including Bill Belichick, and we saw that with his downfall. So I'm just hopeful that with the time off the second time around that he's learned some things, but I certainly have my doubts about that.
Okay, again, defensive coach, offensive league, offensive coordinator, a huge thing. So the two big, stories I think coming out of it are the delineation of power personnel-wise and his offensive coordinator. Which do you think is more important?
What was the first part? Sorry,
The personnel guy or his offensive coordinator?
Oh, offensive coordinator.
Personnel guy.
What do you mean? Mike Vrabel has say.
It starts with the players. It starts with the players, Greg. Don't you think it starts? I know you think coaching's really important. So do I. Don't you believe it starts with the players, though?
Yeah, but the thing is like
I had to rank them.
I already think that's solved. Mike Vrabel has say. He brought in his own personal GM before the half day was over yesterday,
and that's
it's already done. So it's over with.
That's who's making the call.
Yes,
a lot of people are stuck on Elliott Wolf still being the guy.
Yeah, stop that. It's nonsense.
Stop it.
It's complete nonsense.
Okay, good.
I mean, you see this situation all the time in the NFL when, first of all, you're not getting a guy like Mike Vrabel without giving him exactly what he wants. And he is going to have final say. He brought in his own personnel guy. And I'm sure the Kraft said, look, we really like these guys. We're paying them.
Elliott Wolf and his crew.
Yep. We really like these guys. Maybe they end up sticking. But, hey, we're still paying them for another year or whatever. Hey, try them out. See what happens. We'd like to give it a shot. But, of course, he slides Ryden Cowden in. And, the way these things go is sometime after the draft in May, June, July, all of a sudden you're going to see new area scouts coming in and new national scouts and all this stuff. This is the way it goes.
So this is what I felt from the start, and Mike Reese said today on Beadle and Zolak that, Zolak and Bertrand, that Vrabel's going to have the hammer. Mm-hmm. Adam Schefter said this afternoon that Elliott Wolf is going to answer to Mike Vrabel. So this is what I felt in my gut from the start. But there is some optics, Greg, that have people wondering, and Elliott Wolf is still here, and certainly the lip service yesterday and so far is that Elliott Wolf remains 1 and Ryan Cowden and Vrabel remain 2. I don't buy it. I didn't buy it then. I don't buy it now, but it's still sort of a thing that's floating out there because they've left it probably purposely ambiguous.
Yes, and I'm sure it's a very good talk radio topic, and people are mad every time Elliott Wolf, suddenly he's now the devil after one offseason.
It is actually a good radio topic because he was bad at his job and he's still here, and that pisses people off, and I don't blame people.
That's fine, but
617-779-0985.
It's over. It's Vrabel and Cowden, and that's the way it's going to be. These guys, Wolf, Alonzo Highsmith, Pat Stewart, whoever else, Mac Rowe, like they have some value. There's work to be done. They have input. I assume most of the coaches are out of the building. Somebody has to sit with Vrabel and Cowden and be like, these guys can't do X, Y, and Z.
Someone has to turn the lights on and off.
Yes.
And replace the toner in the printer.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. That's what I thought, but either way, I don't know. Be that as it may. Yes, Jimmy?
Let's see it. Let's see what happens in the draft room. Let's have Patriots.com go live to the draft room as the pick is being made, and let's see who has final say, because I don't believe it. Like this whole spend money thing, let's see it.
You know they're going to put on a show just like they did Belichick with collaboration.
Like
not
they're going to post-produce crap.
They're going to make sure they have a video where everybody's like, "You good with this?" and "You good with this?" and like, come on,
like
okay.
we know the deal.
All I know
that Robert drafted.
Is if I'm Elliot Wolf on draft night, I'm turning the lights off.
Robert drafted Terry Glenn too over the Brackens defensive end that Bill Parcells wanted to, right?
Wasn't a bad pick. The guy could play.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.